Drake Maye and the New England Patriots have officially arrived in the AFC, and they're coming off an amazing win against the Buffalo Bills, 23-20. And this is what you're hoping for if you are a New England Patriots fan. By bringing in Mike Vrabel to be your brand new head coach and bringing back Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator. Because you go back to last season, there was little to no hope with the Patriots. Coach Mayo was a terrible head coach. He had a terrible coaching staff in general. Alex Van Pelt was not a good offensive coordinator. And your defense took a major step back. You could not stop the run. Even though Bill Belichick deserves a lot of blame for how bad the Patriots have been over the last few years by missing on offensive talent in the first round. And throughout the NFL draft in general, the one thing Bill Belichick did get right was defense and stopping the run. But that was not the case last year with Coach Mayo. But you have this quarterback, a rookie last year at this point in time, in Drake Maye. And you're saying maybe he can be this franchise guy long term. Not with this coaching staff. That's why they started Jacoby Brissett for the first couple of games. And it was a bunch of rough games there for Drake Maye, but you saw potential with him rushing outside the pocket and making plays in terms of throwing the football across his body, being very accurate and putting the football into tight windows, two key weapons like Kayshawn, and the same with DeMario Douglas. But there was no offensive structure here. The kid was basically doing everything on his own. He didn't have a coach to go out there and help him out and take his game to the next level. And the offensive talent was not there. So this offseason, you bring in a key name in Stephon Diggs. The Patriots, they tried to bring in Chris Godwin. They offered him a lot of money. They were willing to overpay him. But he said that he wanted to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I respect it. But you bring in Stephon Diggs, who is still a very good veteran wide receiver to have. You bring in Josh McDaniels to be your offensive coordinator, who did a tremendous job with Mac Jones. Everyone right now is hyping up Mac Jones with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. But don't forget the coach that got the most out of him before the 49ers could. That was Josh McDaniels' rookie season. They made the NFL playoffs that year because of the play calls by Josh McDaniels, and he had Mac Jones playing in that system. So you bring him back, and you have this brand new head coach coming over from the Tennessee Titans many years ago, who won Coach of the Year with the Tennessee Titans, and Mike Vrabel, who was an expatriate. And the one thing that we know about Mike Vrabel, he can make you a playoff contender. It just takes some time. Look at what he did with the Tennessee Titans. He went to the AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. They ran the air out the football, yes, but Ryan Tannehill still had a lot of good seasons underneath Mike Vrabel. And you look at the Patriots now. In every single game this season, you've been competitive in. That wasn't the case last year with Coach Mayo. You lost a lot of games that you should have won, and you barely look competitive because coaching matters in this league. A lot of coaches are skating by based off the talent that they have. Mike Vrabel makes adjustments every single week in every single situation in game, and the same with Josh McDaniels and the defensive coordinator with the Patriots. Now, unfortunately, you do have an interim defensive coordinator because Terrell Williams, he's dealing with prostate cancer right now. I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. My prayers are with him and his family. I hope that he will be okay long term. But even with that situation going on, which is a dark cloud over the defense, it's next man up. So if you see your coaches dealing with that, it trickles down to the players here. Now, last year with Drake Maye, he was in this offense that had no structure. They didn't have an identity. They didn't have a scheme. Just a terrible system all around. He's rushing outside the pocket. He's not staying inside the pocket because he's playing behind one of the worst offensive lines in football. And you bring him over to this year. The first game against the Las Vegas Raiders, he made a bunch of tight throws over and over again. And they did lose this matchup 2013 against the Raiders. But Drake Maye looked solid. 30 of 46, 287 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. He got sacked 4 times. Early on in this game, he was forcing the football into tight windows, missing a bunch of throws. He didn't trust in his offensive line. But as the game went on, he looked better. He started to perform better in this system with Josh McDaniels, and it's going to take some time here, especially for a player in his second year with a brand new coaching staff, but they stuck with him. And you only lost this game by 7 points. Then the next week you go against the Miami Dolphins. You win this game 33-27. You beat a division rival. Your special teams was phenomenal. Your defense late in the fourth quarter made some big time plays on Tua. And Drake Maye, once again, he looked better in this matchup. He was growing right before our eyes. 19-23. 230 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He got sacked 3 times. And the thing was, in this matchup, even though the Dolphins have one of the worst defenses in the NFL, I will give you that. He was more patient. He stayed in structure. He stayed inside the offensive line, making sweet throws over and over again. And it's the Josh McDaniels effect. He's the same coach that helped coach up Tom Brady to that next level, even though Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the best quarterback of all time. The play calls were very unique with Josh McDaniels, and the same with Mac Jones. So now he's taking what the defense gives him underneath. They'll call out a vertical play. They'll have a running back come out of the backfield very late, and Travion Henderson, he dumps a football down. You didn't see that last year with Coach Mayo and his coaching staff. They're giving him options on the field. And now he's starting to trust Stephon Diggs just a little bit more inside the slot. Once they realize him as an outside wide receiver, he can still make some plays. But he's coming off a torn ACL the year before with the Houston Texans. Let's slide this man inside the slot to where they can't double team him as much. You're not going to press up on a slot wide receiver. You'd be crazy to do so. And it gives him more space. Now he has 5 yards of separation to work with. And we saw it tonight against the Buffalo Bills. More on that in a second here. But this was a very good win against the Dolphins. And you could have won that game against the Patriots. You could have won that game against the Raiders, in week 1. Now, the most frustrating loss this season for the New England Patriots came against the Steelers. They lost this matchup 21-14, but they outgained the Steelers so much in this matchup by total yards, by time possession. The turnovers hurt you in this matchup. It wasn't a situation to where you could barely move the football past the 50. Ramondre Stevenson had some big-time fumbles in this matchup in the red zone, and the same with Drake Maye. But once again, Drake Maye made some big-time throws in the first, second, third, and fourth quarter. Drake Maye, 28-37, 268 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Will Campbell looked like a superstar in week 1 and week 2. Against the Steelers, welcome to the NFL, kid. That's basically what happened. It was TJ Watt and Herbig and Cameron Hayward going at him relentlessly over and over again. And as the game went on, he performed better. But it's going to happen because he is a rookie player at the top position coming out of LSU. But it was a very good game for the Patriots if you take out the turnovers. But you lost that matchup. This loss right here is going to dictate the rest of the season for the Patriots. And you're seeing it right now coming off of tonight's win against the Bills. And the reason why I say that, they could have easily tucked tail and ran and came out and laid an egg the next week against the Carolina Panthers, but they didn't do that. They came out pissed off against the Carolina Panthers. As I recorded this video, one of the weaker teams in the NFL, you won this matchup 42-13. When was the last time the Patriots blew someone out like this at home? It's been a very long time. Those last couple of years of Bill Belichick, man, you just scratch your head, especially with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, and you're just saying, what the hell happened to my Patriots if you're a Patriots fan? You're used to seeing Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, James White come out the backfield, run the score up on the opposing team. That wasn't the case. The defense kept them in the game. And the same with Coach Mayo last year. They would have lost this matchup against the Carolina Panthers by at least a field goal. That's how bad of a head coach he was. But you win this matchup in dominant fashion. And Drake Maye 14-17, 203 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He got sacked once. The main key in this game, he took what the defense gave him and those tight window throws to Stephon Diggs over and over again. And it helped you out so much in this matchup. That is what you love to see out of a young player that's in his second year. Trusting your veteran and throw him open. And the same with Hunter Henry, throw him open repeatedly. That's what happened against the Steelers. Hunter Henry had a very good game against the Steelers, and the same with Austin Hooper. He's constantly throwing them open over and over again over those linebackers. And once again, it's that Josh McDaniels system. Because you had Rob Gronkowski, who was a superstar tight end. He got him involved as much as possible. And the same with other tight ends as well. And I'm not trying to compare Hunter Henry to Rob Gronkowski. It's only one Rob Gronkowski. I'm just saying the system and how he uses tight ends and how he uses slot wide receivers. It's very quarterback friendly. And then we come over to this game against the Buffalo Bills. And Drake Maye is making throw after throw against the blitz in the third quarter. And this is a team that had a bunch of penalties early on. They had fumbles early on with Ramondre Stevenson. And look at what Mike Vrabel did on the sideline. He tells Ramondre, hey, stay in the game. You're going to make some plays. We have 4 quarters. Just stay in the game. Coach Mayo last year is throwing this man underneath the bus after the game. When Ramondre Stevenson had those fumbles against the Steelers, he said that we're going to stick with Ramondre because we believe in him. Now, a lot of that is because he has a massive contract with this team, and they gave him a contract extension a few years ago. I'm not going to say a massive contract extension, but he does have decent money left on his contract, and he is a talented player. He just fumbles too much, but he can give you 4 to 5 tough yards a carry if you're not careful. But they stuck with him in this matchup. And he got a rushing touchdown late in the game. That is what you look for to bounce back. You instill that confidence in your player as a head coach. But back to Drake Maye here. It was a throw. The defensive tackle was all over Drake Maye. He's holding his left arm. Drake Maye throws the football with his right arm. He gets it to Stephon Diggs. Late in the fourth quarter, they advance the ball. A couple plays later, they get some more yards. You hit that game-winning field goal. That is what you look for in a franchise quarterback. To make plays like that and to take care of the football at every single level. He was amazing against the blitz. He was amazing in that moment tonight against the Bills, because this is a big time moment for any player in this league, especially for a player that's in his second year. You're the road team. It's wide out for the Buffalo Bills. It looks like Penn State in there. They're going crazy. And yet you stayed calm, you stayed composed, you didn't let the defense knock you off your spot, you took care of the football, you didn't make a rookie mistake. And a lot of that is because Drake Maye has been prepared for this in this offseason by Josh McDaniels, and the same with Mike Vrabel. And he's come out and he said this, that it's different this year because the coaching staff, they replay the same plays over and over again in the film room, and then they practice it right after. This wasn't the case last year with Coach Mayo and that coaching staff. But Drake Maye, tremendous player. He has the potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, not just in the AFC. We hear so much about Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr. This kid was also in the same draft class, and he deserves that respect. And in due time, he will get that respect from a bunch of people, because I can guarantee you tonight, based off of this game, a lot of Buffalo Bills fans and a lot of Patriot fans right now, they might have not known that much about Drake Maye, but now they do. And over the next couple weeks, they face a lot of teams that only have one win. If they play their cards right, they can make the NFL playoffs this year in their first year with Mike Vrabel. And I would not be surprised, because he's done this before with the Tennessee Titans. When you think they shouldn't make the playoffs, they do. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and make this deep playoff run, but they're definitely improving this year, and they have taken a turn for the better. Far as the rushing attack here with Ramondre Stevenson, I still think he's a very good player. He tones down those turnovers and those fumbles. He'll be spectacular. Travion Henderson, he's the future in this backfield. The comparison is James White coming out of the backfield, catching the football, making explosive plays on special teams. He definitely has a bright future here with this organization. And it's the reason why you spent a high draft pick on him this year in the first place. The wide receiving core looks better with Kayshawn, Mac Hollins in short yardage situations. And this is the thing with Mac Hollins. He's not going to go out there and give you 800 receiving yards in a season. That's fine. He's a big body. He loves to block. And in goal line situations, you throw the football up. And he's amazing against the press and short yardage situations on the goal line and in the red zone in general. He's a special player to have. He's not this superstar, but he does the dirty work for you. He does the little things very well. And in tonight's matchup, Stephon Diggs, he definitely has some energy for the Buffalo Bills because they traded him to the Houston Texans. This was the best game that he's had so far this season. Even last year with the Houston Texans, he never had a game like this. 10 catches for 146 receiving yards. That is what you look for out of your veteran wide receiver. And look at how he was on the bench. He was encouraging everyone. The Buffalo Bills basically painted this man as a diva. You had all those moments on the sideline to where he has his hands up with Josh Allen. He's matured over the last few years. He matured last year with CJ and the Houston Texans. He was keeping the players together on the sideline. Whenever turnover would happen, he said, man, we're still in the game. Let's go. And the plays he was able to make in terms of flipping the field, he was just phenomenal tonight. He looked like vintage Stephon Diggs when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. Many years ago, he was playing opposite side of Adam Thielen. It is starting to come together for the Patriots on the offensive end. The offensive line, they still have some bad moments. They'll still have some leaky protection issues. Drake Maye took 4 sacks today. You could say he's holding on to the football for a very long time. Sure. But it was a lot of plays tonight to where he just didn't have time inside the pocket. But yet he rushes outside. He finds a way. But Will Campbell, He's going to be phenomenal long term. And Morgan Moses is a very good veteran right tackle to have. It's just the interior right now of this offensive line. But offensively, you're going to be set. I really believe that. The future is bright on the offensive end for the Patriots. But right now, this defense, they're phenomenal. They came out and they made a statement tonight against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And let me tell you why. James Cook is one of the most talented running backs in this league. He's a very productive player. They made him a non-factor tonight. They made sure we're going to take over this run game. He had 15 carries, 49 rushing yards, 3.3 yards a carry. We're going to make Josh Allen be the leading rusher. And this is what Bill Belichick used to do in the past. Bill Belichick, we're going to take away that run game with the Buffalo Bills. When we're talking young Josh Allen here, when he was younger, he dealt with accuracy issues. They took that run game away and they forced Josh Allen, get off your spot, run the football. They forced him to have a fumble in tonight's matchup. They walked away with it. He threw an interception. Those are 2 turnovers in this game. And they had a bunch of penalties on defense and the same on the offensive end with the Bills. That's uncharacteristic. They were getting frustrated. They were getting physical at the line of scrimmage. And this is why you go out and you bring in names like Carlton Davis. You bring in Robert Spillane. You bring in Milton Williams to pair up with Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore is a very good defensive tackle. Missed majority of last season with blood clots. But let's not forget, this man can put the quarterback on his backside on a consistent basis, and he can stop the run. He's a special player. He just has to stay healthy. But he's a very good player that you can build around in that front seven. Milton Williams came off a very good season last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been a monster this year with the Patriots in terms of stopping the run and getting to the quarterback. Looked very good against the Steelers. Had a very good game against the Carolina Panthers. And was making plays in week 1 against the Las Vegas Raiders. And they brought in Harold Landry this year. The Tennessee Titans, they released him. He was viewed as a quote-unquote clean-up sack guy to many reporters with the Tennessee Titans. That's not the case here with the Patriots because that connection that Mike Vrabel had in Tennessee with him. He helped develop him with that team, and he was their best pass rusher for many years. He's brought that over here as well. So the entire front seven, when they couldn't stop the run last year with Coach Maye, they flipped on top of his head. They can stop the run now, and they can constantly get to you over and over again. And Robert Spillane, very good tackling linebacker. He's not going to do much for you in pass coverage, but you need someone to go back there and stop a running back on third down. He's going to have your back. That was the case last year with the Las Vegas Raiders and the same with the Steelers. And I'm not saying that he's completely terrible in pass coverage, but he's known to be a run stopper and be a thumper in the middle of this defense. And the secondary, Christian Gonzalez, missed the first couple of weeks dealing with an injury. He made a special play tonight. Josh Allen escapes out to the right, throws the football across the middle of the field. Who is there with his arm right in front of the wide receiver? Christian Gonzalez, the best man-to-man corner in the AFC. As long as he's on the field, this secondary is going to be tremendous. You have him with this veteran and Carlton Davis. You have Jalen Hawkins at the safety position with Kyle Duggar. And you have Marcus Jones, who is special on special teams and is a solid defender in the back end of this defense. But this was a great win for the New England Patriots. They controlled everything in the second half that they could control because, you know, Josh Allen, he's going to make some plays and make your defense just take a deep breath and say, you know what, I'm throwing my hands up. It is what it is. But they stayed in this game all the way through. I'm not saying that the Patriots are the Super Bowl contender. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and make the NFL playoffs, but to win 2 games in your division at the start of the season, that's a major plus for the Patriots. And we haven't seen this much promise in a very long time out of this organization. I'm happy for the New England Patriots, and I'm really happy for Drake Maye. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Patriots getting this win against the Buffalo Bills? And it's official. There are no more undefeated teams in the NFL. The last 2 were the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles lost to the Denver Broncos today. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.